Hey y'all, it's Amanda with Tap Mom and the Bake Brigade. Welcome back to my channel. Yes, I am wearing a unicorn headband because guess what? I found a unicorn today. Well, a unicorn of sorts. I will explain. But anyway, we got kind of a late start today, me and John, because, well, I had one of those nights where I didn't attempt to go to sleep till almost 4 in the morning because I was binge watching a British detective show called Dalglish. It was on Acorn TV. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Dalglish, I think is what it's called anyway. But it was really good. It had two seasons, and it's a show based in the 70s, in the mid 70s, and the lead detective is like a published poet, and it's just so good. It's just really so good, and I just couldn't stop watching. And of course I was crocheting while I was watching, so that helps. I'm having a little foot pain because me and John went to 4 different places today after 5 o'clock. But the first place we went was Target because Johnny got a Target gift card from one of you wonderful people that have sent him cards, and so we went to Target to see what he might want to get with it, and turned out he was able to get a PlayStation card. Yeah, where you could download stuff to his PlayStation with prepaid card. So he bought a PlayStation card with a gift card, Target gift card. It worked. So then we looked around. They didn't have one scrappy yarn in that place. Not one scrappy yarn in that big old super Target. What's so super about a Target without no yarn in it? You can buy yarn on their website, a very overpriced yarn, but you can buy it on their website. What a letdown, right? Well, anywho, so they did have a fantastic riding cart, though. I tell you, I being a person who needs to have a riding cart because I have some mobility issues, because I have issues with my back and legs, and a lot of walking really causes me a great deal of agony and pain. And so I look for riding carts to save me from back and leg pain. I don't always get one, but when I do, I'm grateful, extremely grateful. Well, Target had one of the best ones I've ever seen. It was very comfortable. The seat was very comfortable, and the basket was huge, and then it was fast. I had to purposely go slow just so John could keep up with me. Well, it was great. And the young man that we met there was in the electronics department. His name was Tyler. Very nice and very helpful. And so Tyler, if you're watching, I hope you're having a good evening. And so I loved his hair. He had the nicest hair. Anyway, so we got our little gift card out of there. We looked around and didn't find anything else to get, so we parked the cart and went back to the van. And since we were on the same general area as Michael's, I decided, why not? I'll go to the Michael's. I usually like to go to the Michael's in Bossier City, which is right across the bridge from us here in Shreveport. But I decided, since I was already in that area, that I would go check them out. Well, I'm glad I did. Because guess what? All this time that I've been buying those blossom cakes and the cinnamon swirl cakes online, because every time I go to look at them to see if our local stores have them, no, not located in your local store. Not located in your local store. This store had them. Yeah. So I didn't buy any of them today because I got plenty of them right now, and I don't need any more of them. So I didn't buy any of those today, even though they were buy one get one 50% off, which is really not that big of a whoop-de-woo for me. I wasn't impressed with that discount. not after I don't know. And of course, it didn't help me that I got an email last night telling me that Michaels has canceled my replacement order. You know, the debacle of the condition my yarn was in last week when I received it. And then I went online and I thought everything was solved. And then I get emails last night telling me that my replacement order has been canceled. And I'm supposed to get a refund for the ones that I'm not going to be getting replaced. Well, I still haven't got that refund either. So I'm going to give it till Monday or Tuesday. If I still don't have a refund, then I'll be contacting customer service again. Because that's not cool. If I'm thinking the reason why they couldn't do the replacement is because those colorways have been discontinued, and they might not be able to find them. They might just, you know, literally not have the replacements to send me, which they should have said that in the email, but that they did not. If they had said that in the email, then I would be like, oh, okay, you know, accepting that's the issue and, you know, going about my business. But since I have yet to see a refund, I'm going to give them another 1 or 2 business days before I go back to the chat customer service and ask them, okay, what's going on here? You know, otherwise, if I don't get this resolved, then I may not be ordering online from Michaels for a while until I'm happy to do so again. I don't know, but I did find some clearance yarn at Michaels, and so that's what I bought from Michaels. And you know, they're carrying cakes, but they're not the oh, and I tied this bag too tight. But they're not the they weren't the new carrying cakes. They were some that had been out for a while. They're the let's see, the original carrying cakes, these. And in case you never had these before, I'll read you the specs. They're 80% acrylic, 20% wool, 7.1 ounces, 200 grams, 383 yards, and 350 meters. They are machine wash and dry, no problem. Let's see what this says. Oh, it says lay flat to dry. Excuse me. I'm not going to do that. There's enough acrylic in here that it's going to be fine if you put it like in a, you know, if you don't completely dry it, if you just let it, you know, on medium or something, or, you know, don't dry it for a long period of time. But anyway, this particular colorway is Rhubarb Cream. And I liked it because it's got some pink in here and some peach. Yeah, that's like a orangey peach color. And then you got this, I guess that's like a cream kind of color, and then this little tannish brown color, and pink again, or fuchsia, or however you want to call it. Anyway, but now I done forgot how many of them I got, because they were only $5 a piece. And I had a voucher, and the girl did try to give me some more discount. I give her that. The cashier, she was trying to hook me up. There's 3. I got 5 of them. But I only paid $14. Because I had $12 of voucher. And what is this? Oh, she gave me a 20% off thing for my future purchase. Okay. Yeah, but I only paid $14.09 for all 5 of them. So that made me very happy. And so after we left Michaels, after discovering that they had blossom cakes and cinnamon swirl cakes, even though they only had 2 of each color. That's it. Just 2 of each color, which I thought was pretty. But they did have these huge boxes on top of the shelf that I could only assume have more in them. I'm sure if I had been in there to buy those, I probably could have called somebody and they might have had some back in the storeroom or somewhere. I can't imagine that they only have 2 of each. But for $12.99, even at buy one get one 50% off, I was not doing it. Not today anyway. So after we left Michael's, we went to PetSmart. And so I wanted to try to see, because I didn't get to Bossier where they had the feed and seed place early enough to get the, and I'm running out of places to put stuff, y'all. Forgive me. Give me a second here. What's that? Is that the, yeah, okay. I'll just put that down here. But to get the flea peels for the pooches, I didn't get to get those. Is that the, yeah, okay. So I went over to PetSmart to see if they had anything, any kind of flea peels or what have you, to get my pooches to help them stop being itchy and scratchy. I've affectionately, temporarily nicknamed them Itchy and Scratchy. So the cheapest thing I could find that I thought might work, and it's an all natural, it is topical, but it says protects up to 3 months. And the girl, because I bought a $10 bottle of dog shampoo at the beginning part of this month, and John bathed them in that stuff. I don't think it helped at all. So but my landlord suggested using Dawn dishwashing liquid and bathing them in that. He said that's always worked good with his dogs. And then funny that he mentioned that, and then the girl that was checking us out also mentioned that, using Dawn dishwashing liquid. And seeing as that she works at PetSmart, and she probably deals with a lot of this kind of thing, and I'm gonna take that advice. And so tomorrow, after Johnny's rested up from going to 4 different places with me, and I had a riding cart at 2 of them, so my left foot is killing me from doing walking at 2 of them. But because I had to walk through PetSmart, and then I had to walk through Michael's. But I had to think for a minute. Sorry, I'm getting old. But she said don't use the flea shampoo again, and then use this. She said because it could, and then use topical. She said it could, the stuff that's in the shampoo could overdo my dogs and mess them up. She said so use the Dawn dishwashing liquid to kill all the fleas off, and then put this stuff on them. So this stuff is only natural pet, and so this is what we got them. So I would like y'all's opinion, and if because I know a bunch of y'all have pets and fur babies. Have any of y'all ever used this before? Please let me know if y'all have used this before, because I have not. And I typically wouldn't have gotten a topical treatment, but I needed to kind of do something to hold them over until I can get them to the vet and get a pill, get a chewable, like some Bravecto or something like that. Bravecto always works like a charm, but Bravecto is like $65 per dog. The upside to Bravecto is that it's good for 3 months, but in my dog's case, it's good for 2.5. It doesn't quite get them to the 3-month mark, but it's good for about 2.5 months. But it's, like I said, $60-something a dog, so it is high. Not to mention you have to get it from a vet, and then the trip to the vet is going to cost me probably $100 to $200, because I got to take Axel in there and probably get him a steroid shot, and then they both need vaccinations, so neither one had vaccinations, because they don't never go anywhere but here at the house. So I just don't, I just don't take them. I'm not a person who takes my dogs to the vet for every little thing. My dogs are really healthy, and so there's been no point in taking them to the vet. So but I paid $20 for each for these, so, and I thought I didn't think that was bad. It says it works for 3 months. I'm thinking if I get a month and a half out of it, I'll be happy. But or even a couple of weeks. If I got a month out of this, I would be happy. But we're going to give this a go. We're going to, Johnny's going to bathe them in the Dawn dishwashing liquid tomorrow. And then we'll see how it goes. But that wasn't the only yarn I got. The reason for this unicorn thing is after we went to PetSmart, we went to Joann's. I hadn't been in Joann's, but maybe strawberry water. Sugar-free strawberry water, carbonated from Walmart. It's a good soda substitute, just in case anybody wanted to know, because it's sugar-free. Anyway, and it tastes like a strawberry. It's wonderful. But I hadn't been in Joann's, but maybe, I ain't been in there in a couple of months at least. And last time I went in there, I think I was just picking up an order and went right back out. So, I said, well, let's stop in here. They didn't close till 9 o'clock, and it was 7 something. And I said, let's just go and see, I wanted to see what, because I hadn't been ordering from Joann's because they hadn't had anything I wanted. But, they just don't have, they don't carry Premier. And Premier is my favorite yarn. So they don't carry any Premier. Premier is like my top favorite, and then there's Karen Cakes, of course. I have, like, if you look behind me, you'll see it's Karen Cake heaven. But Karen Cakes and Premier are right here in my book. They're right here. So they're my top two. They're my favorites. But we looked all over the store, and I was just about ready to leave. And I found something that I didn't think they had any of. I found a unicorn. And I know this, y'all probably gonna think I'm silly, and I am. It's okay. But I really like this yarn. I had made myself a shrug, a granny square shrug out of this last September, and in beachy colors. And there's videos all about this, and if you go back, I know I have a lot of new subscribers that don't know about that shrug that I made, but there's lots of videos and everything showing it from last September, if you want to go check that out in my vlogs, in the daily vlog playlist from last September. I'll show the there's me showing making it and everything. And I used this yarn, the Ogo Halo Karen Colorama Ogo Halo. This is the unicorn, because this is the only one they had in the entire store. And it is in the let me find it again. It's in the colorway Cranberry Frost, the red color. Okay, and let me go over the specs in case you may not know. It is a 5. They call this a 5-weight, but really it's kind of roving yarn, so it goes from thick to thin. It is 71% acrylic, 18% nylon, and 11% polyester. It's an 8-ounce donut, 227 grams, 481 yards, and 440 meters. So, and it is really, really soft. It's the softness is similar, not the same, but similar to latte cakes. Okay. A lot of people are like, oh, it's not that soft, but I think the people that don't know that it's that soft are getting donuts that are wound really, really tight. And if it's wound really, really tight, you don't really get the full effect of the softness, but it's really soft. And that shrug that I made is like buttery soft. And it was so nice to work with. It really was, with the exception of when it got really, really thin. Then it was a little bit of a booger. But I mean, really, I enjoyed working with it. I went and bought not too long ago. I bought 6 of the what was it? The tan color. I like a bunch of it in the tan color, and then I have some But what I was hoping was, because I knew I had one similar, I had two similar to this color, but I couldn't remember if it was this cranberry frost or if it was something else. So when I got home, I pulled one off the shelf. Just, I say shelf, I mean cube. But it wasn't the cranberry frost. It's the rose frost. So it is not the same. I was really hoping, because I had a project that I was hoping to make with the red, you know, I was really hoping it was the same color that I had two of already so that I can make a bigger project, but it wasn't. But as you could see, it is super close, but this is rose frost, this is cranberry. It's definitely not the same color, but it's so close. It's super close, but it's not. The cranberry is definitely a more richer, deeper red. So I will figure it out, my project. I'll probably end up using the rose, the ones I have in rose, because I have two of those, and so I'll probably use those for my project and make what I was going to make. I'm not going to tell you what that is. Not going to tell you, because it's one of those things I got cooked up. But I will share with you what I have been working on that kind of was a spur of the moment whip that I got into, that I don't, because I had this yarn that Cheryl gave me last year, and my colors, they so my colors, and when me and John were redoing my bedroom, and also my yarn area last weekend, I pulled these out of the cubes, and I was like, what am I going to do with that yarn? What am I going to do? And ever since then, I was like, what? I kept, I would, of course, go on about my day, but then I'd circle back and go, what am I going to do with that yarn? And then I was in the, of all places to have it hit you, I was in the shower. And it hit me. You haven't made yourself a granny square blanket. And I haven't made myself a granny square blanket. You know, where you make the granny squares and then you seam them together and then give them a border and, and all that. I haven't done that. Which I think is almost like a crochet rite of passage. When you're doing crochet, at least you need to make at least one granny square blanket. I have not done that. And so that's what I decided to do, because well, I hadn't done it yet. So let me see if I can untangle it, get these out of here, because they're beachy colors. And so I got one square done, and so I'm using, that's the wrong one. I'm using this for my sand color, because this is not one that she sent. This is something I bought to use as a sand color, and this is Impeccable Loops and Threads Impeccable from Michaels, and the color is called Putty, and it's 100% acrylic. Let's see here, how many yards? 285 yards per ball, and I have about, I think, either 4 or 6 of these. I can't remember, but I've been using this for like the first part of the square, because I just started the second square. And this is these are the colors. See how you can see they're in the turquoise family. So these, and I had 5 each of these colors. This is Hirschner's yarn, and it's called worsted yarn. And let's see, each one, they're 100% acrylic, and each of them have 183 yards, and it's a 4 weight yarn. Sorry, I'm having to really look. The writing is really small. This color is called Aquamarine. This color is, turn it this way, it's called Sea Spray. and this one's called Jade. So Jade, Sea Spray, and Aquamarine. So what I did, and I'll show you the, let me put everything back in here. My little zip thing in here. I'm gonna wait till last to put that in there. So this is the square that I already got done. So this is what they're gonna look like. And so what I did is I went as far as the little skein of yarn would go. So obviously the Aquamarine went furthest. Okay, so I did 5 rows of the putty color, the what I call the sand color. I went 5 rows. That started me out, and then the Aquamarine went 9 rows, and I think this was 5. This was 5, and then 4. Yeah, I think 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. Yeah. And so I hadn't decided what yarn I'll use to join them. I do have some yarn that really will go complement this really well. So I don't know which yarn I'll use to complement this, but it's just going to be like a summer blanket for myself, you know. But I'm just going to make 4 of these because I got enough yarn, because I have, you know, I have 5 each of these little skeins, and so in each color. And so I figured I would just make 4 big squares like this, and then attach them for a blanket, and then of course do a border and what have you. And I figured that would be big enough to be my summer blanket. I don't know how big it's going to be, because this is pretty big itself. This is pretty big. So I really don't know how big the blanket's going to be. Y'all just have to tune in to find out. And I'll lay it on the couch and take a picture, and y'all can see how big it is against my big couch in the living room. That's how I normally do it anyway. But this is not the softest yarn in the world. That's why I was kind of a dilemma, because I was like, do I make a wearable with it? And then I was like, well, I can make a blanket with it, and then I could throw it in the washer and put fabric softener on it, and it'll be just as soft as it can be. So that's what I'm going to do, because it's really, it's reminiscent of Red Heart Super Saver. It really is. So it's not terribly, it's not scratchy, but it's not really soft. It's not soft either. So it'll be fine for what I'm doing with it. And it'll be a very beautiful beachy blanket, and that's what I wanted. So it'll be a nice summer blanket for my bed, and so that's what I'm doing with it. And I'll probably have it done within a week or 2, because I'm watching TV while I'm doing it. And you know, big old granny squares don't take long when you're not changing colors a lot, and I'm not changing colors a lot. And I'm not a person who waits till the last minute to tuck my ends. Every time I get to the end of the skein, I'm tucking my ends in before I go to the next color, because I don't want to get to the end of my project and have 10 million ends to tuck in, because that's annoying as you know what. I don't mind tucking in ends, but I don't want to wait to the end of my project to do it. I don't do that. I do it as I go, so that I'm not sitting there at the end of my project tucking in ends for two hours. That would drive me bonkers, because when I get to the end of a project, I want to tuck in 2 or 3 ends and be done. I don't want to be doing it for an hour. So therefore, that's why I go ahead and do it as I'm going, instead of, you know, like, you know, some other folks. But anyway, but that's how our day went. We went to 4 different places, and then we went and got Sonic burgers and came home, because Johnny did put chicken out to thaw out for cooking. But after I drug him around to 3 extra places after we went to Target, I figured it was only right that I buy the boy a burger instead of making him cook chicken. So that was our day. It was a pretty good day. did buy some yarn and some stuff for the doggies' fleas. And after they get themselves a bath with the Dawn dishwasher liquid tomorrow, hopefully, then we will hold them together and apply that stuff, and hopefully that'll help the flea situation, and I can stop calling the dogs Itchy and Scratchy instead of Theodore and Axel, because lately that's what I've been calling them, is Itchy and Scratchy. And I got to get a brush or something and get to poor Axel's hair, because we've swept the floor and still there's black hair floating all over the floor, because every time he scratches, he sheds like crazy. And so every time he scratches, more hair comes out, and because he's shedding his winter coat, and black hair is all over the house, in every nook and cranny in the house. And no matter how much we sweep, it just it looks like we didn't bother the very next day. So I got to get. We looked at brushes at PetSmart, and they wanted, like, I think the cheapest one there was $13 for a brush, and I was like, wow, I think I can find an old brush of my own and just do it. I think they got a brush in the van that'll do it. I'm not going to pay $13 for a dog brush. I didn't pay that much for my own hairbrush. I'm not going to pay that much for a dog brush. I'm sorry. It's just kind of ridiculous, if you ask me. But we're just doing the best we can around here. Anyway, I already have an idea for this new Karen cakes. I already have a project in mind, but I'm going to keep that to myself for now in case it doesn't pan out. But it might be somebody's sweater in the future. Maybe. It'll either be a blanket or a sweater at some point in its yarn life. But it's talking to me saying I should be somebody's sweater. A solid sweater. Don't you think I would look cute as a sweater? Oh my goodness. Anyway, oh my God, I have been talking. This is going to take forever to upload. But I hope y'all have had a good Saturday night. I hope y'all tuned in to Mama G Gear's auction and showed her some love over there. I popped in, but they were in the middle of things, and I didn't want to intrude since I wasn't going to buy anything. But anyway, I love y'all, and so does Jesus. And please remember to adopt, don't shop. Your best friend could be waiting for you at the shelter or the rescue. And I will see y'all again soon. Bye.